Hi, during this workshop style presentation, I will show you how to use cognitive services, speech to text, to translate the WAV file to the text. Then we will using Azure OpenAI to generate a summary and everything put it to the Cosmo DB. All of that will be very cheap, just we will be using serverless Azure function. It is a main intelligent app with Flex consumption and Azure OpenAI lab taken just from the Ignite 2024. Mariusz Ferdyn in the IT world for over 24 years, but now currently doing all the Azure stuff. You can read more about me on my MVP profile, LinkedIn, or just join to the GitHub and see my small projects. Okay, what we need to do if you would like to perform this lab in yourself, you need to install .NET. First of all, you need to install the Visual Studio Code, then Azure CLI. You need to install Microsoft AZD. It is just software that deploy the entire application to Azure, including Biceps or Terraform and, for example, code to the Azure function. Nice to have a Git to download the solution from the GitHub, and we need to install PowerShell 7. And that's all the requirements, how it will be just working. First of all, we put the file connecting to the Azure function, and the file will land in the storage account. Then the event grid generate event and launch the durable function that get the file from the storage account and then perform speech to text recognition. And then the result will be putting to the OpenAI to get a summary what somebody said, and then we store everything in the Azure Cosmo DB. Of course, we can just use other tools for the monitoring like Log Analytics, Workspace, Azure Monitor, and so on. Here are just step by step what we will be just doing. Just first of all, we just clone the repository, log in, then log into the AZD, first change to the where we download the file, and then provision the infrastructure. Then we deploy all the two functions. As you remember, first one to get the file and the second durable function. And finally we update some of the code and deploy only the processor, and finally test the entire solution. So let's go. Okay, so let's do it step by step. First of all, let's clone the repository. cd labs or just mkdir labs, cd labs, and clone the repository. Currently I am logged in to the Azure, so I will skip this part. When I do it, I need to browse the subscription. I currently browse the subscription number 4. Okay, let's change the directory and launch the Visual Studio Code. Here is our Visual Studio Code, and now using the AZD command we will deploy these biceps. And these biceps has some of the modules like storage account, event grid, Cosmo DB, and so on for the entire infrastructure. To source code for our function is just uploader for the function that we upload the file, and the processor durable function that do all the OpenAI and speech to text for our project. Okay, so that we need to also authenticate using AZT. I authenticated. Okay, and let's provision the infrastructure. It will be my environment name that I will be using later. As I said previously, I will be using subscription number 4 and is US region. Okay, deployment started, and nice functionality of the AZD that after clicking the link that it will be generated soon, I can go directly to the Azure portal to the deployment section. And here is the deployment section, so we are waiting now. And in the meantime, I will just put this, my environment name, to these two commands that I'm setting the Azure location and environment name. And here I deploy these two functions to infrastructure that it is building now. Okay, let's wait for a moment and continue. Okay, deployment has been done, so I can see what has been deployed. It is this resource group, only one. Okay, just two function, key vault for the secrets. This one, standard one, is used for the uploading the file. That one for the processing. It is durable function. And event grid system topic to launch this function, and here also Cosmo DB. App service plans to both of the function, and that's all application inside to gather some of the logs. Here is also the API Management Studio that we can expose this function to upload the file via the API Management Studio. For the security reason, for the not showing the function key. Okay, so let's move to our manual, and that I set the environment for the AZD. Okay, and deploy the code to the Azure function. So let's wait a moment, and the deployment should finish soon. Okay, both function has been deployed, so we can continue for now. And let's check them in Azure. here is only one. Sorry, audio upload. We will be using that one for uploading, and here are the several to proceed. Let's check if it is working, the first part at least. Let's move to the Visual Studio Code and check all my extension. So you see all my extension that it is needed, by the way, also to participate, or if you want to deploy or repeat all the action I'm doing, just .NET, C#, and the most important for testing is just this REST client. Of course, we can use Postman for an example, but here if your default environment is just the Visual Studio Code, just you can use this one to simply upload the file that is just here. Docs Asset Audio Microsoft AI Wave. Simply we will be uploading this file via post method, so I can click here, send request. Okay, 200, all is okay. And what should happen if I go to here? I can close this too. Storage account. This one. And containers, audios, and it appears here. But now, if we back to our resource group, you see this durable function never execute. And for an example, like that one, invocation. Just because we have some of the lack of the code. But let's move to our Visual Studio Code, and we have just solution what we need to add. And it is just for the here. I close that one and set it as a okay. Here select to compare this one and compare with selected, and simply we are adding this function, start transcription, get the status, get transcription, and reach, and that's all. So what I simply do, I close that one, close that one, select this one, and put the entire code here and just save it. Okay, so I'm ready to the next step. Just deploy the processor. And now I am deploying the processor function. And then the entire solution should work, that our transcription should go to the Cosmo DB database. The function has been deployed now, so let's check what we have in Azure first. Let's go to the Cosmo DB database. And Data Explorer and the items should be just empty for now, just nothing happened with the new fixed function, durable one. But now let's go to the storage account once again, where we have it, storage account. This one, and let's delete the file to make it clear. Okay, the file has been deleted. So I return to my Visual Studio Code, and for my upload, and send the request once again. Just after sending the request, I should see 200, what is expected, then what doesn't mean it is uploaded, and should appear just here. Now I need to wait for a second. Just durable function should start. Just the speech to text is not so fast, so we cannot use normal function. We need to use durable one here. And let's check if this one just started or not. Invocation. Okay, started. And enrich. As I said, speech to text is not so fast, so we need to wait for a moment. You can also use logs to check the logs. Okay, so it is not finished, so we will be waiting when the entire function runs and the item should appear in our Cosmo DB database. Let's back to my resource group and Cosmo DB. By the way, here are the rest of the resources like Azure OpenAI. And my Cosmo DB is just here. Okay, let's wait for a moment when the entire solution works. Okay, it is just here. So, as I see, there is an item with the result, what we receive, and what was the summary. So, all is working as expected. Just this was only the beginning. Task for you is just to analyze the code, do some tests, and continue exploring the Azure capabilities about the OpenAI, cognitive services, and so on.
Thank you. See you.